So, for those of you who may not know, I'm a bit of a tech junkie. I am obsessed with electric cars. I'm obsessed with computer tech. Always trying to do some research, as much research as I can. I will never be in the same level as like Linus, because he's very in depth with everything. I'm a little bit more basic when it comes to GPUs and CPUs. Because he uses some lingo that I can't understand, and I never bothered to research it. But um, most of the time, from time to time, I will go back to um, reviewing this phone, because I feel like just doing a review a couple weeks in isn't good enough. A long term review, maybe 6 months in or 12 months in, I'll come back to this phone and tell you how the battery life is, how it's still performing. I'm also an Asus fanboy. Like, I have the Asus ROG phone. I have the Asus PG279Q monitor, which I absolutely love. The god of monitors is the PG27UQ, which is $2,000, and that's way above anything I make, which is not much. So eventually I'll buy that, when I start making good money or when the price drops significantly. But $2,000 for a monitor is kind of ludicrous, because even a gaming rig doesn't cost that much. I mean, it can now because of the prices of the RTX and CPUs and motherboards, but and DDR4 RAM. But that's kind of ridiculous. But I mean, Asus, I will probably always buy Asus. I have a Razer Ouroboros and a Corsair gaming keyboard, and the Corsair keyboard's fine. The Ouroboros, on the other hand, Razer products kind of wonky. Like, I like them, but at the same time, it's like their wireless capabilities. I had the Naga Chroma before this, and it kind of sucked. Like, it just kept disconnecting constantly and wouldn't perform as much as I'd like it to. In the Ouroboros, kind of gives me the same problem. I've changed the battery at least twice now, because it just kind of died on me after like a year and a half, and then I had to like put a new battery in, and then it works again. I mean, it hasn't given me any issues recently, but the Ouroboros is definitely better than the Naga. After this, I'm probably just gonna buy the Asus ROG Spatha, or whatever that mouse is called, and then I would want to get a Claymore. I'm just gonna Asus it all up, all over this bedroom. Like, Asus, Nvidia has the G-Sync TVs, which are the gamer TVs, and every other company, EVGA and Gigabyte and Asus, are going to make their own versions of it, just like how they do with GPUs. So the Asus ROG PG65, which is going to be a G-Sync TV with 120 hertz, 4K HDR, all that good stuff, and eventually, because when you game on a console, on a television set, it's kind of not as good as a monitor. If you go to like MLG, if you go to any competitive game, even if it's on a PlayStation or Xbox, and not just PC, they'd be playing on computer monitors, gaming monitors to be exact. Televisions obviously don't have the latency, response time, and everything you'd need to run a game on it. I mean, it's still cool and still fun, but you want a gaming monitor if you're going to go pro, or even just smooth experiences. Because having a G-Sync TV and having 120 hertz display with a really fast response time, and in 4K, mind you, and it's 65 inches too. So having that is actually going to be a lot better to just game competitively in too. But I mean, honestly, like, you won't have any tearing, you won't have any problems. It's just going to be this amazing, television set. And it's probably going to cost an arm and a leg, because if the PG27 UQ and the PG60, and it's a lot more. The PG65 is a lot larger than the UQ, and the UQ is already $2,000. Who knows how much this gaming television set's going to cost? I have a Sony Bravia 43-inch and 4K. It was like a month before HDR came out, and it's not HDR, but I get screen tearing, I get response time issues, and the visuals are amazing. Like, I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's amazing, looking, and I still experience everything I need to experience. But I probably will never buy a Bravia again, just because they're like, the funny thing is, it's a 4K TV, but it can't. The smart functionalities, basically the internal CPU, cannot handle 4K. Why would you build a 4K TV and not make it so it can't run 4K on its own? Like, the Xbox the One X that I got needs to do all the heavy lifting to run 4K YouTube, 4K Netflix, 4K video in general. If I try running it off the television itself, it just freezes because the CPU cannot handle 4K on its very own product. I don't know what Sony was thinking when they thought of this TV, but it's not a good TV. I mean, it is for like if you have an external source running 4K, but on its own, being a smart TV that it is, having Netflix, having YouTube, having 4K, it can't handle it on its own for some reason. So having a gamer, if it's good for gamers, it's good for anything, because if you have a gaming rig, you can video edit with the gaming rig because it has the power and capabilities to do so. But having a G-Sync TV actually would be really nice to have, have it be have smart functionalities, have it be from Intel and have it from Asus, so it's going to be a quality product. So and it's definitely not for the average consumers, because no average consumer is going to look at that and be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to buy that one. Like, and people are going to go towards Sony, Samsung, or LG because those are the they've been here for decades, and that's like the standard television brand to buy, But I you should do your research and you should check out all the specs and all the model names, because the model names can get you, because the 279Q that I have is different from the 278 or the 27 whatever. There's a bunch of different versions of the ROG monitor series for Asus, and then there are other monitors that are similar to this one. I forgot what the brands are called, but they do have the exact same specs. So when it comes to tech, it was funny. One of the things that actually brought me onto this topic, which I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point, is the fact that my friend called me yesterday, and he works at Best Buy, and he was trying to sell iMacs, but he hates trying to sell iMacs because he knows they're a ripoff. Apple only works with Apple, and iMacs are insanely expensive because you can get something for $1,000 less from the PC market and get it something just as powerful, if not more powerful. If instead of getting a MacBook Pro, get a Razer Blade or a Asus ROG Strix or a Alienware laptop, because you're gonna get more bang for your buck that way rather than getting a MacBook Pro or an iMac. iMacs are ludicrous, especially because they're not modular. You can't modify them. I built my PC in 2012, and I put a Titan X in it, which only cost me like $500 because I got it off of eBay, like open box. It claims to be new, but it works. And it's been roughly 6 years and it's still going strong. I'm using a 2K monitor, and I can still run games at 2K, like Fortnite or Rainbow Six Siege, at like 80 FPS, which is not bad for 2K, especially because my computer's somewhat outdated. Like, I have an Oculus Rift for it, and it runs Oculus, but it keeps notifying me that it's not compatible, even though it kind of is, and it still works fine, But yeah, so I want to revolve more around tech. Unfortunately, I can't afford tech, so I will try to just talk about it and talk about research that I've done. But like, the most recent tech I bought was this phone, and as much as I love it, it's just, this crap is expensive. My monitor I bought last year, like ever since I graduated college, I'm a little bit more financially unstable, but so I'm not going to keep buying tech and reviewing them because I can't afford it, but I will try my best to be as clear as possible when it comes to this kind of stuff. Yeah, so that's basically something that I wanted to just talk about. I kind of just jumped from one thing to another, didn't I? But yeah, it's all about what I'm trying to do. I'm unscripted. This is gonna be unedited. I'm gonna try my best to just give you kind of the gist of what I'm trying to plan out for future videos, because trying to plan out videos is kind of difficult, because I'm like, what's relevant? What's new to talk about? What's cool to talk about? What can attract your attention to talk about it? So if people prefer visuals, which I'm not trying to do because a lot of people already do that, so I'm kind of just vlogging at this point, but like, I've prepped for this accidentally because I wanted to stream on Twitch, but so I bought one of these, and then over a year ago, and I have a nice webcam and a nice gaming rig to stream, but getting in traffic from on Twitch is insanely difficult, and I can't hold up to it. So I'm just gonna keep making YouTube videos. But yeah, like tech. I'm a Tesla fanboy as well. I like things that I can't afford, obviously. So I'm gonna start talking about the electric car industry a lot more now, because I did a video on the Rivian and it didn't do as well as I'd like it to, but like it's an interesting topic because it's slowly going to replace fossil fuel. And so technology, video games, that's my demographic. Hopefully I will stray away from those topics from time to time depending on what's on my mind, but I'm going to try my best to stay on one certain topic. It's hard to, because a lot of YouTube channels do like only one thing, you know. I mean, like some people like JonTron do like movies, shows, and PSA, or just random funny stuff here and there. You know, gaming is the biggest one for him, and Dunkey is focused purely on gaming, and then Linus goes from like gaming to tech to gaming, well, mostly tech. You know, Linus Tech Tips. So, and Marquez Brownlee, KBHD, whatever he calls himself, he, you know, focuses on tech too, which honestly, those guys inspired me to start talking more about tech. I've always been a tech junkie ever since I built my computer, you know, 2012, and I want to keep expanding on that and hopefully share my knowledge with you. And I feel like I'm rambling at this point, so I'm going to stop talking. And if you guys liked everything that I had to say, hopefully I kept your attention for this long, please like and subscribe. Subscribers seem nice and actually give me an ego boost to make more videos, because it's a really slow YouTube, like starting off on YouTube is such a slow process, you know, like it's kind of frustrating. But because I do have a day job, but I'm trying to build up my reputation. I actually work for Team Liquid, which is amazing. It's an amazing company with amazing people, and I absolutely love it, and I want to work my way up with them, but I also want to do YouTube videos for fun, and hopefully eventually make a career out of YouTube as well, just to have like a couple things on my plate, you know, especially because I'm a film major from college, and it's kind of hard to just get your foot in the door in the industry because it's so competitive. And honestly, at this point, your bachelor's, your resume, your cover letter, none of it matters. It's about who you know, and everyone who you talk to will tell you it's about who you know. Network, blah blah blah. And I mean, if you network and if somebody gets your job in the company, you never have to interview or you never have to submit your resume. They just hire you. It's weird. It's I mean, it depends. Everyone has their own story, but that's the vibe I've been getting from everyone I've talked to, you know, and I've been talking to a lot of people for the past few years, so it's an interesting field. But I'm gonna try this out even more, and yeah, hopefully it grows. Yes, thank you for watching.